Looking for excitement? Chumba Casino is here. Play anytime, play anywhere. Play on the train, play at the store, play at home, play when you're bored. Play today for your chance to win and get daily bonuses when you log in. So what are you waiting for? Don't delay. Chumba Casino is free to play.
Experience social gameplay like never before. Go to Chumba Casino right now to play hundreds of games, including online slots, bingo, Slingo, and more. Live the Chumba life at ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Over the last 75 years, over 10,000 chemicals have been introduced to our food supply. Yet the EU only allows 300 food additives. But at Thrive Market, we bring our members the highest quality brands and restrict more than 1,000 ingredients found at conventional grocery stores, making the switches easy with our Healthy Swaps scanner, which finds better versions of all your favorite pantry, snacking, and home essentials without the added junk, dyes, and fillers. Plus, it's all delivered straight to your door. So if you're looking to shop at a grocery store that actually cares about your health, go to thrivemarket.com/podcast and you'll get 30% off your first order and a free gift.
Welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with an elusive craft brew on the side. I'm Jade, and I'm here with Nate and Aaron as we chicken hunt through chapter 6 of Soul of the Fire.
Hey guys, me again. Bet you can guess what's coming, huh? Yeah, it's not chapter 6, it's actually chapter 8. So, yeah.
Who's going chicken hunting?
Well, we are, I guess.
We's going chicken hunting.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Apparently, one of the three of us is not thrilled to be going on a chicken hunt, as I thought.
Well, I was trying to do a thing, right, for the people.
Yeah.
And then there's people in the room that are being distracting. So sometimes you get a little exasperated.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
When you're trying to you know, just do your job, you know, and other people are just fucking off, jerking off in the corner, if you will.
That's weird. I just want to clarify, it wasn't me. I was in the corner putting on my face paint. So I didn't distract us at all.
And I don't know what any of those words you guys just said mean. So
Oh, well,
I don't think it was me.
He's such a good asset to the podcast.
I'll have you know, I have a very small grasp on the English language.
Good.
So
That's great.
couldn't have been me.
Well, this has been our moment of truth for today.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'm just here in the moment. I live life.
Well, if you guys don't remember the moment from last week, I'm just going to quick recap. Ungi, the little village boy, was attacked by a chicken. Zed ended up inspecting Junie, and Richard decided that it was time to round the chickens up.
Yeah, I've always said
had
that.
enough.
I've always said we should round the chickens up.
Yes.
If you go back and you listen to all those
Oh my God.
previous episodes, every single one, you'll have heard I've always said that.
We think probably 6-8 times, something like that. You probably catch it.
I think the first time you listen, you're not really listening, you know? Like the first time you're listening for info, the second time is when you really start listening for enjoyment. And everyone knows third time's a charm. So, yeah.
Okay, well, getting into the chapter. The chickens have been herded into 3 separate buildings.
Mm-hmm.
Chan shows up. He's talking to Kahlan. He's like, hey, have we found it yet? And Kahlan notices that he's dressed for battle. So she's not going to poke fun like she normally would because he's being respectful of the chickens and she thinks this is bullshit. So she's like, no, we haven't found it, but what's going on with you, buddy? Why, ready to go kill something?
I'm prepared for battle because I'm going to go fuck up this chicken.
Well, then she was talking too about like how ridiculous it was that he was apologizing as he was walking through the chickens.
Yeah.
Because Richard was like, you know, don't offend them when you round them up. So like she's biting her tongue so hard right now to not be a total smartass.
And if you've spent time around chickens, you know that they just fucking go wherever. So there's no straight line you could walk that you wouldn't have one in front of you. So the idea of him just shuffling around like, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, I'll be right there. Yes, sorry, excuse me, sorry, excuse me, is fucking hilarious. Like Richard in his temper, just watching him go extra slow, like, dude, come on, just get over here. But it was his idea, so he's fine with it.
To be fair, chickens, they're kind of dumb. They just walk around, look kind of stupid most of the time. But they are like little mini raptors, and we just saw a kid get like sliced in the throat by one.
Yeah.
So I feel like if you're told that a chicken is possessed by an evil spirit, I would be being polite to the chickens too. All right, ma'am. All right. Yeah, excuse me. You go ahead.
Look,
I will go around.
I grew up in a farming community. I did not grow up on a farm, but I've spent time with chickens. I've apologized to a chicken before. Like, I'm not saying the apologizing is, like, that's understandable. But yeah, I know Kahlan for sure has got to be up to her fucking tip top of her hair. Of like, I cannot take any more chicken talk.
Absolutely over it.
Well, Chan explains that the reason he looks the way he does is not because of the chicken.
Oh.
It's because one of his men out on patrol saw some guys with swords. They're not Imperials.
Oh.
He's like, I've seen them. You've seen them. That's not these fucking guys. They're calm. It's weird, but it's not something for you to fucking worry about. Kahlan's like, well, we should go anyways. Me and Richard, like, that's our job, right? We're the head people. And Channa's like, no, I fucking got this. This is my place.
Yeah.
I can talk. You go be a newlywed. Go fuck your husband or whatever. I'm going to go do my job.
Normally, I think I mostly agree with Chan. Like, I've said before of like Richard and Kahlan are the big picture now. They can't deal with small picture things like random guards showing up. But the fact that they're calm does seem problematic.
Well, it just means that they were planning on this meeting, right?
Yeah.
They're coming to the mud people.
Well, that's what I mean. Like the mud people, Chan says they get some visitors here and there, and like this isn't a big deal, but I would be concerned about calm visitors.
Yeah, well, we also know that the mud people are mostly left alone.
Well, during a time when you also got a weird fucked up chicken running around.
Also true.
Everything has been heightened in my opinion now. Or now I'm like, no, actually, Kahlan, I think you should go with Chan. Go check these people out.
They're coming to the edge of town going, excuse me, have you seen my chicken? And you're like, yes, we fucking have.
Yeah, that would be my thing is like, Chan, if one of them asks about a chicken, go get Richard immediately.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But on the other hand, he does deal with this every day. And Richard and Kahlan, every time they come in, get to act like they rule the fucking village.
True.
And he's like, I am like, this is actually not your place. This is my place. So like, let me fucking do what I do. And Kahlan's been consistently bitching about not just getting to hang out with Richard and there being all this other shit that keeps coming up. So why are you trying to start another problem? It's not your problem until it is.
De-involve yourself just a little bit. But no, that's not his style, though.
You're trying to leave.
Yeah.
I can leave. Kahlan then ends up talking to the Birdman because Chandlin has to say, hey, I'm taking off for a little bit.
Got business.
Chicken has not been found yet, but he's going to keep an eye out.
Well, yeah, they got the 2 other buildings to go through still.
Yeah. He's just keeping her updated. Like, no, I don't got it yet. But she's like, why are you suspicious? What about the chicken made you suspicious?
Fair question.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like any other chicken. As far as she can tell, there's nothing different about it. So what stuck out to him, like, we don't know if it's got a weird aura or if it was some behavior that he saw. That's like, this chicken is just acting differently than the other ones. We have no idea what he was focused on when he said that.
Yeah, all chickens have this like weird dead eye thing about them anyways that kind of look like they all kind of have a crazy eye thing going on.
I think the thing about chickens is that they have the weird fisheye Like, so it looks dead because it doesn't, I don't know. It's been a while since I've looked at an alive chicken. But, yeah, they just have the weird round eyes. It doesn't change or move or do anything.
Yeah.
So they just stare at you.
I think part of it is like, even if you haven't spent a lot of time around chickens, you kind of have an idea in your head of like what normal chicken behavior is.
Yeah, it
and
sits on the plate until I eat it.
And it's a little weird. So, like, if all of a sudden you were looking at a chicken and it wasn't acting weird, that would be weird.
Yeah.
So, like, I can see where it's like, where we live in the States in Michigan, you know, we see foxes, coyotes and stuff. And we see the videos of them with rabies. And you see it and it's like, that's weird. That is not a normal fox. Like, something's fucked up with that.
Or like all the other chickens are just pecking the ground and then the one is just making
Staring
direct eye
straight
contact.
at you.
I know
Yeah.
exactly. I have a great, it's like AI.
Yeah.
When you see an AI image and you're like, something is off. I don't know what it is. And then you start zooming into it and you go, oh, why is there 7 fingers on that hand? Oh, why does she have 3 hands actually? Oh, weird. Her nose and her mouth are like swapped. Like, yeah. It's that thing. Like, from afar, it looks like what it's supposed to, but the closer you zoom in, you're like, oh, shit's fucked up. Now, the description that Birdman gives to Kahlan is the dancers at the party. There's male dancers that play female parts, and he says, "How, if you didn't know, would you know?" And she's like, yeah, I feel like I would have a sense about it. There's just something not right about it. So that is his explanation to her.
That you could look at I'm thinking of like Roman actors or like Grecian actors way back when they're like, women can't be actors. So then they would get all done up and they'd look as much like a woman as they possibly could. But so she's pointing to that, saying that you would look at this person and know.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Birdman was pointing out to her, is that's the type of sense that he's getting.
Yeah. And so he can see chickens just the same way. He just looked at the chicken and just knows.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I feel like I kind of understand, but also it's a little vague, buddy.
Well, I think that's the problem, is like, it's vague, but when you are the one seeing it, it's not. You see it, and when you see something that's just slightly off, because it was so close to the thing you thought, now that seems like a big thing of like, no, hold on, that's almost the thing I think it is, but there's a slight difference, and that's not supposed to be there. So what's going on with that? Like, it's the idea of the uncanny valley.
Yeah.
And it's one that I thoroughly enjoy. Because I love like the thought experiments and the discussions of the implications of like, if you believe in evolution, the uncanny valley came about because potentially at some point there was something that kind of looked human that scared the fuck out of us. And that's why when we see the uncanny valley now, you get uneasy. That's like a biological trait based on a past experience that we had. Now, the other thing that most people think is like, it's to see dead, or when you see someone who's sick, they don't look healthy, they don't look normal, you should avoid them, because before medicine existed, if someone was sick, they were going to die. There was not we just got to stay 6 feet apart. Or if you stumble upon a dead body, there's a chance that that dead body has parasites and all sorts of disgusting shit, and it doesn't look alive. But it kind of does. It almost does. It's a human, but there's something wrong with it. And that's where that uncanny valley comes in, where it's like, just stay away.
There's just something in you that's like, but you can't explain it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this way, that's what the Birdman is saying. There's just something a little off.
Yeah. And when she tried to blame the alcohol that he had been drinking, he's like, hey, maybe it just helped. Maybe actually it relaxed me to see the real situation at hand.
I Like the way you think, Birdman.
Yeah, I find zero fault in this logic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Historically, I've always been at my best and clearest when a few beers deep.
I also love it because she just keeps poking at him being drunk, and she said it like straight to his face a couple times. And he's like, "Bitch, I don't know. Maybe it actually helped me. Shut up."
Well, look, we use these psychotropic frogs to rub on our chests and trip balls and talk to the gods, and we suss out important information when we're having meetings with these people. We're being respectful. There's a lot of things we have to do while we are tripping balls. So maybe I get a little drunk and see weird auras around chickens. Like, who are you to say that my methods are not legit?
Yeah.
Yes, I am a little drunk. Also, that chicken is looking at me weird.
Well, and
both things can be true.
Well, and to that same reasoning, hey, it is canon that we get fucked up on purpose. So I know when what I'm seeing is something real or fucked up, because I got a lot of experience being fucked up. Kahlan, how about maybe, you've been here before, but this isn't where you live. These are not your people, as in your neighbors. Maybe they know more about what they're talking about, Kahlan, than you do. Maybe. Maybe not.
The Birdman suggests that she and Richard go take a break and go eat. And he's coming on over. So they are confident that all the chickens are in these 3 rooms.
Mm-hmm.
All right. The mud people are like, we got them all the nooks and all the crannies. So we know that they're all here. And Richard is positive that only real chicken are in the first hut. So at this point, he's decided he's not going to eat. He's going to go check the other fucking huts.
Mm-hmm.
So he's cleared hut 1.
Yeah.
No weird chicken in hut 1.
No weird chicken in hut 1.
So he's going on to hut 2.
Yeah.
Instead of eating.
Yeah.
I think it's fucking hilarious that they are questioning, or at least Kahlan is questioning, the Birdman's sobriety right now, and he's the one telling them to, you guys need to go. I'm seeing things, okay, around chickens. You guys need to go take a break. I've got this handled.
Yeah.
And I am just a little bit drunk.
Yeah, I had some more wine with breakfast probably, and I ate some Tava bread. I'm a little bit drunk, but I'm also full, so I'm gonna keep looking for chickens.
It's more
of
a buzz really than a drunk, and like I'm kind of in a good spot. So no, I did
Right in the pocket.
I did like though how there was mention about how the children were invaluable in trying to gather the chickens.
Oh hell yeah!
They were like, "Hey kids, you guys want to work? No, work is catching chickens. What? Yeah, you wanna go catch chickens? We're not allowed to. Now you are.
Guess what, pal?
Yeah, every single one, those kids' dreams just came true.
Plus the challenge of you got to be nice to the chickens and help us find all of the. Do you know where the chickens hide?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go find the chickens.
That's the added twist. You have to get the chicken to give you consent to pick it up before you bring it back here.
Yeah.
So do that. Go. Skedaddle.
Busy all day. Before Richard takes off, he does ask about a book called Mountain's Twin. And Zed and Anne have no fucking idea. They never read it. They think about it hard. But Anne is like, I'll write to Warren. I got my journey book here. Let me go ahead and write him a little note. And Richard's like, yes, cool, bye. And heads off to the chicken huts. Zed decides to go see the mother of the dead baby to try and comfort her.
Yeah.
And we are going to go and get some beer because that's sad. So I need to
We
take
have
a
to
little
prepare
break.
for that?
Yes.
Yeah, that seems like a fine idea to me.
We'll be back right after this.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
Most weight loss plans are one size fits all. not taking into account each person's individual needs. Noom is here to change that. Noom Weight uses psychology. That's why they say losing weight starts with your brain. But it also takes into account your unique biological factors, which also affect weight loss success. The program helps you understand the science behind your eating choices and why you have cravings. Everyone's journey is different, so your daily lessons are personalized to you and your goals. One of the great things about Noom is that it's nourishing instead of restrictive. They focus on progress instead of perfection. You don't have to give up carbs, or anything for that matter. Have cravings? Food FOMO? Noom can help you lose weight while still enjoying your favorite foods. To date, Noom has helped more than 5.2 million people lose weight. Stay focused on what's important to you with Noom's psychology and biology-based approach. Sign up for your trial today at Noom.com. That's Noom.com.
Aaron, what are we drinking today, pal?
Well, today we are drinking some Dragon's Milk Reserve oatmeal cookie. And I'm just going to let everyone know right up off the top, 11%. Just now that we've all heard that number, 11%, know that that is what we're dealing with moving forward.
Yeah, we can taste the 11%.
It's their oatmeal cookie variant. Dragon's Milk Reserve is a treasure trove for the adventurous spirit. Each entry in the reserve serves, each entry in the reserves, what? Is this a typo? Each entry in the reserve serves, it's series, not serves. Hey, remember when we talked about small text and how it's hard to read?
Reading glasses for the men at the table.
You really got to start
Where's
putting
my
these
readers?
on the screen.
Each entry of the reserve series is crafted to push the boundaries of our signature stout, and an epic journey awaits. The adventure begins with a slumber in select bourbon barrels, imparting notes of vanilla and oak to this brew. Real oats, by the way, raisins, cinnamon, brown sugar, and pure vanilla extract. Yeah. How are we again, 11%.
I feel like I will never get over you putting an E in vanilla.
Vanilla?
Vanilla. It's so weird.
Wild. And also, it's wrong because you shouldn't soften anything about the flavor of this beer. What you described sounded like a nice blend of like, ooh, it's getting a little cold outside. Here's some spices. What you get when you take a drink is like a lot.
You don't get that. You don't get fresh snowfall, winter morning, but I ain't got nowhere to go. I'm in my jammies. I'm in my bunny fluffy
Your
slippers.
jams?
And I'm pouring myself. That's right. 8:30 in the morning. Dragon's Milk Reserve oatmeal cookie. Because it's going to be a great day.
I mean, I do that on
For
Christmas.
you, but not your family.
That's been going on for a few years. Christmas morning, I will have myself a nice beer. Because that reason exactly. I'm going
this
nowhere.
one, right?
Yeah.
This exact one, 11%. That's Christmas morning.
Oh, probably stronger. I've also had CBS too, which is like, I think 16, 17, something like that.
I'm curious to hear your rating because the vibe that you said you're not getting is the vibe I'm getting from this beer.
There are other oatmeal flavored beers that I've had that I haven't been the biggest fan of. It's that spice kind of combination that I'm like, I'm a little iffy on. I'm going to give this a 7.
7 presents from Christmas morning?
7 presents in my new adjusted beer scale. I'm trying to be true to where I'm at. And I feel like I do like it, but it is one of those beers where you got the first
11%.
Yeah, you gotta swallow hard. You know what I mean?
Once you get a little bit
actually,
of booze in you, then you forget
It
that it's
totally
there.
smooths out a few sips in, and you feel way better about it. So I like
You
it.
feel better about everything.
You know what I'm saying? I do like it, but I'm not crazy about it. It is very strong. It's very strong.
7. Okay, Jade.
I think it's like an 8. I like me a dragon's milk. You can't drink it every day, but when you're really feeling like I want to get in my cups a little bit, You need one, you know? It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know what's going on right now. Maybe there's some other factors at play, but this is fucking hitting the spot for me right now. I think I've had a lot of similar flavor profiles that are a higher percent, that are closer to like the 15, 16 range. And I think I'm now realizing that I wish those were a little bit lighter, kind of like this exact one.
Okay, don't get mad about it. Calm down.
This is a perfect 10 out of 10 for me.
Wow.
I genuinely think at 11% I could drink this all day, and I would love to. I would love to die trying.
Aaron, as your friend,
Yeah,
I feel like I'm supposed to say don't.
but
as your
best friend.
yeah, I feel like it's my job to say we should at least see what happens if he tries.
Oh, man, I don't know.
Hey, and I gave you permission to record it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just something's going wrong. Maybe this is a 9.5. But right now, in this moment, live, 10 out of 10.
10 out of 10. Well, we heard it here. Reserve is a 10 out of 10. We'll have to see if that happens next year.
Yeah.
Compare and contrast.
Yes, 1 year from now, book it, patrons. Come back 1 year from now.
And with that, we're getting back into the chapter. Hey, we're back. So, Zed and Richard leave to go do their own things, and Anne is like, hey, Kahlan, hang back. We gotta have a woman-to-woman chat. She understands that Kahlan is frustrated, as it is her first day of marital bliss, and Richard is chasing chickens. But she can't meddle. She needs to just let him do his fucking thing, because that's how Richard works. And everybody has to sacrifice for Richard's process. That's just how the world works.
There was a bit of wisdom in this. Like, I feel like specifically for Richard and specifically because he's the seeker, like the whole thing about the seeker is let him just get into shit and
Let him
he's
cook.
gonna find the way. So yeah, let him cook.
Hashtag let him
The
cook.
whole thing is let him cook.
Let him cook.
For him specifically. And, you know, I think this is a commentary on like the titans of industry that sacrifice for their companies or whatever, and they're just gone all the time. It's like, yeah, you could interrupt that, but then you're going to fuck up the dude's flow, and he's doing this thing. In Richard's case right now, he's looking for chickens. So it doesn't exactly, it's not 1-to-1, but I think that's where Anne's comment is coming from.
And I agree. I think the only thing is in Richard's defense is that like there have been actual people harmed. It's not like he's just like, I'm going to try and settle the accounts before Monday. Okay. He's, you know, the reason he's distracted is because there's like an imminent danger of some kind. Just like if there's a natural disaster, you can't really be mad at people for having to deal with that as opposed to like just enjoying a vacation. Like, just is what it is.
Yeah. It may be unorthodox, but like you said, let the man cook.
Yeah.
He's obviously onto something.
What I don't really get here is the way this came across to me from Anne is that she's like explaining to Kahlan, like, hey, I've known this the whole time, and I'm now explaining it to you. But like just 2 chapters ago, Richard was the one who was like, you guys named me Seeker. Let me do this because all of you are against me right now, including you, Anne, who now seems to have done a complete 180. This explanation is not the vibe I've been getting from Anne so far into this book.
Oh, but she's changed her mind. And from here on out, I bet you she's going to be on Richard's side. And she's just going to support whatever rabbit hole he's jumping
That's
down.
Clearly what I would think.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
That's what she's saying. We just need to let him cook. So from here on out, her and Zed, I think, are on the let him cook train.
I agree with her.
Yeah.
It's just weird that I'm agreeing with her.
Yeah. Well, Kahlan thinks that Richard is kind of just inventing trouble because he's so worried about her. Which, just, no. Not quite. But okay. she's annoyed about the whole thing. She's
Mhm.
like, this is just stupid. And she is annoyed at Anne specifically for having this conversation because she's like, I already been through all this.
Mm-hmm.
I trusted the sisters were going to take care of him when I let them take him from this very village.
Oh, man.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Well, actually, it was the spirit house. They're in the chicken hut.
Shh, Anne doesn't need to know that.
So she's like, I know all about hanging in there with the ride that being with Richard is. Like, you just got to hope that someday it's all going to work out. But Anne explains that there was a point to all of that, okay? She took him because there was a prophecy 500 fucking years ago before his birth, and they knew he was going to be the pebble in the pond then. So they've been working for the past 500 years together, her and Nathan, her prisoner, to try and figure out the best way for Richard to navigate the world.
Trainee.
I do like the way she explains that the prophecy doesn't say that Richard's gonna be the guy
To win. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That the prophecy only says that if anybody could, it would be this guy.
Yeah, this is your best chance.
Yeah, and that it's kind of built in just a little bit that like the whole idea behind this guy is let him cook. Like he's going to get into shit. He's going to figure it out and he's going to do some weird shit. But as long as he's being like ethical, let's follow him and see what we're doing. And today we are fucking corralling chickens.
Chickens.
Okay, let's get the chickens.
Well, at this point, Anne does explain something that one of our patrons recently, maybe not so recently for you guys out there, but recently for us here at the table.
In the past, in the present, future.
Yeah, yeah. She brought it up on Patreon. She was asking us about Zed specifically and him. How many times do we know for sure he only went through the boundary a couple of times? And me and Nate sat down here and we did a whole bunch of research and we tried to come up with the answer. And in her question, she had mentioned that Zed had gone back over the boundary to get the Book of Shadows. But I knew that there was an instance in the book where we were told that Anne and Nathan had gone back. They traveled from the old world to Westland to see Richard, and then they went to the Midlands. So this is where we learn about that.
George.
With George.
Yeah.
George, his stepdad. Because Richard is just a wee baby at this point. And they had gone to see him. And then they plotted this so that Richard would be able to fight the beast that raped his mom. So it was all planned so that he could fight Dark and Raw.
Mm-hmm.
Long game. But I just wanted to point out that she had asked that question. And I still don't know if Zed did go back and forth over the boundary. We don't have any specific knowledge of that or that he actually had knowledge of the Midlands.
No.
But we know that he went over at least one time with his daughter. And then he went back to get the sword. So he would have gone a total of 3 times because once over,
through
once
the boundary
back, and then once
3
back.
times. Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as any like information stream that he had, I guess I maybe assumed that he would, just keep his ear to the ground, but we don't actually think that there's anything he could have really known. He was over there in exile.
Yeah, I think that he just went back to get the sword because he was pissed about it in general. He knew that Samuel had it, so he was like, I'm going to go get that fucking sword after things calm down.
Yeah.
Which is a good call.
Yeah.
Like, that was a good call.
But the point of all of that was that Anne tells Kahlan about their journey to go get the Book of Shadows to help Richard just a couple books ago. It's all starting to get twisted together, but he is the pebble, and she has to trust that everything he has done, even the destruction of the Palace of the Prophets and Nathan's escape, is toward the end that they want, because again, he is the only person who could possibly fix things.
Yeah.
Or maybe not even fix things, but like help people survive, like make it so the world doesn't end.
Yeah. Kahlan straight up asks her, hey, so Richard like destroyed your home and you're still here, being like, he's the guy. He's like you said, he's our only option. So he's the fucking option. Yeah, it sucks that he did that, but also he's going to lead to the world being a better place. Hopefully, if he wins. So I'm in for that.
Well, and
regardless,
not just that he destroyed her home, he got her to help him destroy her home.
Yeah.
That's how much she does or is supposed to. Maybe that's the main thing is like she can still get annoyed and know he's right. I think that's just called being married. But I think it's the idea that like she is going to fight him on every step of the way, but she knows in the back of her head, like, I'm going to help him. I know that he's the best chance, but like, I'm going to make sure he's got conviction. Like, I'm not just going to roll over and let him do whatever he wants. I'm going to test him on it. Maybe that's why it seems so flip-floppy of her right now.
It is funny because even in the middle of being like, we just have to follow him and do whatever he wants, she's chiding him about the Nathan thing. She's like, Nathan got out. Look, he told you the fucking chimes. That could have been terrible. And she's like, yeah, but that saved Richard, which was the whole point of what you're talking about, right? And concedes to that point, but then is like, yeah, but he stole hundreds of years from me and the sisters, and he's got to account for that. But
there is that.
Bigger problems. So she is rather flip-floppy, but she does say that is a lot of her personal issue. Like, those are a lot of personal issues she has that she has to overlook in order to just do what he needs to do. Kahlan at this point is like, okay, well, you're talking about my husband kind of like a tool. And I think that she probably thinks he can be a tool sometimes, but not in this way.
Yeah. Well, and Kahlan's definitely looked at his tool before.
I'm like, we could work with that.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking Kahlan's like, I'll work with that tool.
But Anne says, no, yes, but no, because his instincts and who he is as a person is what makes him special. It's what makes him the pebble that is going to make change. So we have to just trust those instincts as much as they might irritate us.
He is a tool, but like he's not wielded.
Yeah.
He's a self-powered tool and can do his own work. You could try to put him, in one spot, but he might go to a different spot if, you just kind of let him.
Okay, so Kahlan is like, all right, you have succeeded in making me feel guilty for wanting Richard to myself today. But really, fucking chickens? We're dealing with, fucking chickens.
I'm losing out over chickens.
Yeah. That is a good that's a good counterpoint.
One.
Yeah. And Anne is like, hey, I know. But me and Zed have both concluded there is actually something wrong with our magic. We haven't told Richard this for some reason, but there's something wrong. We've done some tests. We've figured this out. And that Richard has figured this out on his own is like, and that he's following some weird thread.
He's on something.
Means that there is something to this.
There could be legitimacy to it.
Yeah. Even if we don't know what it is.
So it's fucking weird.
Yeah.
But also,
let him cook.
Thank you. Let him cook the chicken. You know what I mean? Who doesn't want cooked chicken? Let's get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. So this conversation is basically wrapped up. So they decide they're going to go find Richard. They go outside. Kara's pacing in the rain because she got told to stay there. And they're like, all right, let's fucking go. Zed pops up. The whole group is trying to find Richard in the fucking pouring rain. And Kara's like, I got this. I got the bond. It's like having him on Google Maps. I'm just going to follow the fucking pin. It'll be fine.
Can you remind me a minute? What time of day is this happening?
This is like midday, I think, but it's
midday.
But it's really fucking stormy out.
See, I was getting closer to evening vibes.
It might be evening. It has been a long. This is still the same day that Junie died.
Yeah, that they walked the 3, wasn't it like a 3-hour round trip to go to the pond that they went to?
Yeah, you're probably right.
That was all today.
Yeah, when the Birdman said food, I thought it was dinner.
You're probably right because it is dark. They do say it is dark.
It's also
right now.
stormy.
Okay,
but I just assumed it was because it was stormy, but it's probably nighttime.
So this is that night then.
5 p.m.
Okay,
Yeah.
I was just kind of wondering, but so it may not be dark yet, but it's a stormy day late in the afternoon.
It says it's dark. It's
dark.
Yeah. It does clarify in there, like
nighttime.
I think so because I'm backtracking on what I just said a minute ago because
no, that's
when
fine.
I read the book, I do remember them saying Kahlan mentioning that Kara was looking through the dark in the pouring rain, and that maybe it was
because of this coming up.
Yeah, maybe it was confusing her bond.
Yeah,
because she does double back repeatedly throughout it.
But it's also not super, super late because we're not done with this day yet.
No.
There's more to come.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's like she has Google Maps. So she's like, I got it. And she starts heading confidently, and then she doubles back repeatedly. Kind of like, me and Nate last night went to go try and pick up our son after the football game.
Oh.
And the high school, it was a homecoming game. So the high school was packed. We have friends that live close. So we were like, just start walking towards their house. We'll pick you up. And I tried to find his Google Dot and it kept moving. And I was like, it says we passed him. I tried to call him and he was like, I'm going to the house. And I was like, just stop walking. And he was like, I'm going to the house. I was, God damn it.
Yeah. Buddy, we're trying to do a flyby pickup here. Like, don't knock on any doors. We're just right around the corner. Hold still. And he's like, no, we're going to the house. I'm like, then go to just the front yard. Well, I'll be there in 30 seconds. Please don't bother anybody.
But yeah, so this is kind of what was happening to her. She was like, I know where he is. And then she'd go there and then he wouldn't be there because the dot will have moved on the maps, right? But she knew for sure he hadn't gone to look at the other chickens. He started towards the other huts and then turned the other way. And she didn't say why.
Yeah, I guess I was just a little confused as to what time of day it was, because if she has to use her gift to find Richard, then it can't be like he's over there in the field. Like you could, it's got to be at least dark enough to her to have to use that because nobody could. Yeah. And the other thing I kind of realize is that it's raining, so all the fires are out.
I also thought it was kind of funny that while reading the book, we are told that there's an issue with magic. We finish that conversation. We go out to Kara. Kara's immediately like, I'm going to use my magic to find the bond. My brain went, that's probably going to be a problem, right? Because magic has a problem. And then I kept reading and I was like, oh no, look, we're following her. We're going to the... And then it goes, and she doubles back. And I go, God damn it. I was right.
Can you imagine, though, Kara explaining to the rest of the group in her grim way, like, he's this way, and then so everybody's like, okay, let's go find Richard, and then they're walking out in the rain. It's a real somber moment, and then she stops and turns her head. Actually, no, he's over this way.
The thing is, she grumbled, so clearly she's fucking annoyed that this is happening.
Exactly, yeah. Nobody is gonna say anything to Kara because she's got to be getting more pissed by the moment.
Well, maybe we should give her some time to cool down. We are going to step back and take a little bit of a break.
Ooh, get out of the rain, have a beer?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds delightful.
Yes.
My voice doesn't go that high.
Oh.
Me neither.
ET is Ryan Seacrest here. People always say it's good to unwind, but that's easier said than done. The exception, Chumba Casino. They actually make it easier done than said, or at least the same. Chumba Casino is an online social casino with hundreds of casino-style games like slots and blackjack. Play for fun. Play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. Sign up now and collect your free welcome bonus at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Hi, we're back.
Hello.
Yeah.
It's good to be back.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
It's so nice.
Are you glad to be here?
So sweet.
So nice. Relaxing.
Why are we doing this?
Because we can.
There's a bit I wasn't aware of.
Yeah.
It's called freedom, motherfucker.
Improv. So they see Richard. Kara's finally like, there he is, and points ahead of them. And he is near a small dancing fire, which is the remnants of the bonfire from last night. In the pouring fucking rain. The rain from all day. It's been raining all day on this fire. And it's still going.
This was specifically their wedding fire?
Yeah.
Wasn't there something special about this one?
It was their wedding bonfire, and it's still going.
Not just regular fire, it's a bond. Anyways, it does seem to react to him. He like kicks at it and it like flares up and dances a little bit.
Which, okay, so he's definitely onto something.
Yeah.
In the way that like
think.
if you fan flames, literally, right?
Yeah.
Then you could say, look, it's reacting. But I don't think that this is what she's describing.
No, because I wrote kick, but he really just like nudged at it with his toe.
It was a nudge.
But he's full avoiding it with it's trying to avoid touching him.
Yeah, it's like
ducking and weaving out of the way.
Yeah.
The fire, which does not do that.
Yeah.
Naturally.
It's not alive, typically.
Your guys'
right?
fires don't tend to duck and weave?
Hey, look, all I'm saying is that fire is not a fire.
Interesting.
You just get a sense?
Yeah, I mean, you can tell just by looking at it.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, he snuffs it out. He's like, he's not about it. He's like, nope, we're done. And kicks dirt over it. But one ember just like shoo through the air. And he tries to catch it, but he can't. And it gets away.
So I don't know exactly what was going through Richard's mind. Well, look, you look at the fire. It's behaving weirdly when you kick at it. And it's avoiding your foot.
And it's still there despite pouring rain.
Yeah. And so, yeah, it should have been out a long time ago. But then when you put it out and the ember gets away, why reach for the ember? Is it just like one of the little ash things floating away? Or is it like, does it look a certain way that would be not natural for an ember to do? Because my question is, why reach for it? It's going to burn you otherwise.
Snuff it out.
Yeah, I'm thinking Richard wants to put an end to this fire. And so when this one little spark flies away, the fire is not snuffed out completely. I think what Richard's train of thought here, and I did find this interesting. I was going to ask a question, but you just confirmed what my suspicious question was. The wording of this is that the spark flies upward. He tries to snatch it. But on the wings of a gust, it disappears. And I think in a way, you could read that as it goes out. Like, oh, the ember goes out.
Yeah.
It disappears into the night. But I think, and I'm pretty sure a lot of listeners probably thought this too, were we all on the same page that ember did not go out? It flew away.
It got away from him
the whole time.
Yeah.
And disappeared
fire
because it was far away.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I was curious if it was going to be like, oh, it went out versus no, it's gone.
But I suppose either way, if it disappeared on the wind, I mean,
yeah,
based
transfer.
on what we find out here in a moment, that might have
yes.
significance as well.
Yes.
So Richard had made the comment calling it Centrosi as he did it and was grumbling. Kahlan's like, what the fuck? That's the chime. What the fuck? What does that mean?
You're not supposed to say those.
Yeah.
Historically.
Zed.
Not supposed to say that.
Right. And Zed and Anne, they get annoyed, like pissed off immediately when he says it. He's like, God damn it, this fucking ignorant kid following a rabbit hole he doesn't need to. We already ruled it out. There's 1,000 other possibilities. This is fucking dumb. Don't answer her immediately, but eventually Zed turns to her and is like, don't fucking say it. First of all. Second of all.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, no. Aaron can. You can't.
Yeah.
But then he tells her, fire. That's what it means. So, following logic, my logic anyways, if Centrosi means fire, one of the other might mean water, and one of the other might mean air. So if it did escape on the wind, it could have just been going with his brother for a walk.
I think that's clearly the implication, is that this specific fire, why he wanted to snuff it out, was Centrosi.
I think so. I think he well, my question
or a
was,
representation of Centrosi.
Does Richard know before that moment that Zed explains that Centrosi means fire? Does Richard know that Centrosi means fire? Or did something else happen that he can articulate that from something in the Temple of the Winds? Or I don't know where. I don't have that answer.
I'm guessing he knew.
How did Richard get to that and call that one Centrosi if he didn't know that? Unless it did something, like we're saying, behaved in a way that wasn't like fire, so it just drew his attention. But like you said, then the fire flies up into the air and like takes a hook and disappears. So it's like the air one has grabbed it and carried it away from Richard, who is about to kill it.
It is very interesting that for this entire book so far, chapter 8, we have not seen Richard's POV.
Yeah, this is almost exclusively, I think it's been Kahlan the whole time, yeah?
Which I guess it's why it's cool. It can be argued either way, because from Richard's point of view, a very involved and, I don't know, bordering on obsession about this thing, who's like, yeah, that was the thing, and it got away with its brother, the wind. And then to somebody else who's like, Richard, why are you staring at a fire? Come back over here. It's fucking pouring. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Also, if you ever stumble upon a male that you know in the rain staring at a fire that hasn't quite gone out yet, just know that in his head, he has played out one of the most epic one-man action shots ever. And he is now reflecting on the sacrifices he had to make on that journey and how he'll never be the same again. But what he did was ultimately good. Just, that's all. That's what's happening. Whenever you see a dude just looking at a fire, it's just after a big action movie. But I think I know the answer to that. And I don't know how happy I am that I think I know the answer.
Okay.
Because I'm assuming it's just going to be because he needed to. Or just we're never going to get an explanation.
Damn.
As to how he knew it specifically. But I mean, I think we have plenty of stuff where in the Temple of the Winds, the Wizard's Keep, the stuff with Kolo, there's an easy explanation for where that information may have come from. But
I'm cool with that.
I think it's probably going to be more of I needed to. And that's how I work, is anything I need comes to me when it is relevant, because my power is based on need. So
I guess we can all kind of infer that the chimes, if one of them, Centrosi, is fire, then I think we could probably suss out the fact that Goodkind is a big earth, wind, and fire fan.
Or just he really believes in the balance of the original fire, grass, water, Pokemon strength and weaknesses chart.
I'm kind of guessing it's not so much that, but yeah, if you want to think of it in that way, I was just kind of thinking it's got it. Well, one of them's fire. We think one of them might be air. We don't know what the third one is technically.
It feels like the three base classic elements definitely are the other two.
I think maybe this is just a reference to Goodkind, a band that he likes.
I did have one more thought on Zed's comment here. He says, he talks about how Richard has just zeroed in on the fact that all of this stuff is related to the chimes. When Zed is doing the exact opposite, but because it's perfectly the exact opposite, it's the same thing. Zed is refusing to look at evidence that does point to the charms because he has convinced himself it's not. Where Zed is arguing that Richard is focused on this because he's convinced himself of it, Zed is dismissive of it because he's convinced himself it can't be that.
Amazing. I
so
never
it's
really,
like,
yeah.
They're perfect opposites
They're
here.
doing the same thing, but
Yeah.
opposite each other.
Yeah, and how frustrating is it to be like, oh, we just talked about an issue. We're having issues that seem like they could be related to the thing. You're just going to tell me we're ruling the thing out?
Yeah. Turns out there's actually a bunch of weird little things going on that could be explained by this, but I'm ruling it out because I don't want it to be that.
But, nah.
Yeah, exactly. But
What's its
nah.
first rule?
Hey, that's a great point. Great point.
I think those are pretty good Wizard's notes. Does anybody have anything else?
I will say it's not really a prophecy. It's more of a reflection. I am genuinely surprised. We are almost to chapter 10 and we are still talking about chickens. Kind of thought we would have moved on to something else by now. I mean, we kind of have. The escalation of the chicken has, well, okay, it's escalated.
KFC level of chicken now?
We now know that, like, Richard does not think this is just a chicken. Like, it seems like we're getting implication that this chicken is actually either the actual evil chime spirit or a representation of it. But the fact that we're still talking about chickens, I am a little surprised. Yeah. All right. More chickens. Let's go.
To the reader that opens the book and is like, I'm just going to take a little peek ahead and be like, wow, chapter 10, still fucking chickens. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought this was an epic fantasy.
Not fucking them yet. We'll see what happens. Well, that's our truth. We would love to hear yours. Write to us in your journey books to podcastatt@gmail.com or find us on any of your social medias.
Glug. I caught it.
Ooh. If you would like to support this podcast and hear some more delicious content, find us over on patreon.com/podcastatt, where every tier is a happy tier.
Happy tier.
That's all for us.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. I gotta catch my fucking breath. We'll see you real soon.
Bye.
Bye, guys. We'll talk to you later.
How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.